Okay, we're live. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday, May 22nd. It is still a really cool season in Toronto GTA. I think I woke up this morning and it was like 3 degrees, which is like wild crazy because June is right around the corner. I'm super pumped, super excited for today's episode because my dear friend and super mega coach with the Tom Ferry organization, Janet Miller, is here. Now, if you don't know Janet Miller, then I don't know where maybe you're living under a rock. She is just an incredible human being, a masterful coach, and just a true practitioner of what she preaches because she is just a badass. She's the bee's knees. Today's episode, we're helping real estate agents take back control of their time, eliminate distractions, and build a business that actually pays them for their effort. Hey, imagine that. Today, we're breaking down tactical and practical time-saving hacks that can get you more done, reduce overwhelm, and ultimately make you more money in today's competitive market. Please help me in welcoming Janet Miller, the
Thank you.
guru of time management in real estate. Morning, Janet.
Good morning. I like that intro. That was really good.
Yeah, you can
made my
hire
day.
me for all your speaking gigs. Just bring me along. I'll be kind of your roadie, right?
I like it.
So Janet, we've known each other for quite a number of years, right? And we met
Yes.
at the first time at Summit, and I believe this is 2018 or 19 in
Yeah.
Anaheim, which is wild. For the very few people, and the thing is, like, there's like no, everyone knows who you are, but for maybe the one or two people that don't know you in real estate, give us kind of a brief, synopsis of who you are and where you're coming from and what you're known for.
Okay. Thank you. So I've been a coach with Tom since 2017. I'm probably about 17,000 coaching sessions in, and it's
crazy.
And what's really interesting, of all the things that I've helped people with or we've worked on together, the topic that comes up over and over and over is time management. I find it's the number one topic that people struggle with, whether they're doing their first 12 deals ever or they're a mega producer with a team. There's so much struggles with time management. So to give a little bit of background, I've been licensed since 2010, got my license when I lived out in Vancouver, sold for 5 years, transitioned to a role as director of sales with a brokerage out there. And that brokerage, I was responsible for building the training and the mentoring and all those kinds of programs because it was a boutique brokerage. And I would do what we all do, Google research. And this guy named Tom Ferry kept coming up in the search results every time I was looking for information about the topic that I was going to be presenting at the sales meetings. And I thought, I've got to find out who this guy is. So I went down to a leadership summit in 2017, walked up to him at the first break, and I said, hey, I've been following you for a while. What would it take to become one of your coaches? And 6 weeks later, I joined the boot camp and became a coach. Like this August will be my 10th summit. And I've been a coach ever since. And as soon as I was able to build up my portfolio of enough coaching clients, then I transitioned to that full time. And I still learn every day. That's what I love about coaching.
Yeah.
As much of, yes, 17,000 coaching sessions, but there's always something new to learn and grow from every single day.
Like, that just speaks volumes to who you are as a forever learner. Like, I would think after 17,000 of whatever, right, that you would be maybe even stagnant, bored, maybe. But for you, like, you have this like insatiable desire to continue learning and growing, which makes you a phenomenal and highly requested coach, which is awesome. Janet, time management though, how did this fall into your lap? Is it something that like younger Janet Miller growing up, instead of playing with dolls or cars or GI Joes, whatever, like you were doing like calendars, like scheduling calendars? Like, walk us through that.
No, I think it came about, like, I wasn't that organized before I became a coach. I didn't see the value. I didn't time block before I became a coach. I didn't understand the benefit of it. But I saw these agents who had so much potential and had this chaos in their life and their business. And I knew there was a better way. And so we started to build the formulas that made sense. And what I saw, what would happen is they would say, oh my gosh, I'm so much happier. I'm so much healthier. I'm making more money, or I'm getting the same amount done with so much less effort. And that's the thing about time blocking. I don't want to ever put someone in a box, because a lot of agents especially the agents who are really good at what they do, they're gritty, they're drivers, they're relentless. Like there's no slowing them down, but they're spinning, right? You can relate to this. You run a
Yeah, yeah.
team, you're a coach, and just helping them find a better way. So what I want to do this morning is walk you through the rules of how to build a time block schedule. And it's
Love it.
not one size fits all. It's like, here's the framework, here's the formula, what works for your life and for your business.
Yep.
And then build it, and then talk a little bit about what needs to go into that schedule daily, weekly, and monthly, and even quarterly. And then some hacks in terms of how to actually stick to it. Because that's the other thing that, you can build it and you can have this beautiful schedule
Yeah.
on paper, but if you can't follow it, what's the point?
And the thing is, you've spoken in front of thousands and thousands of people. And I love this. Like, you're going to really break it down for us, what the hacks are, and then maybe just some of the things, like the most common mistakes you see agents and realtors make, where like, these are the easy fixes. These are the quick fixes. So without further ado, Janet, the floor is yours. I do have the comments live right now on
Awesome.
StreamYard YouTube. So if you have questions, please throw them in the comment box so that Janet can see them, and then we can answer them as we move along.
Yes, I can
All right.
already see Lynn and Lorna chiming
Amazing.
in.
Amazing. Of course
Kingston,
Janet's a
Ontario.
rock star.
Okay, so let's talk through this. And Stephen, I'd love, actually, before I start, I'd love to know. Tell me your experience with calendars. Like, do you follow a time block calendar? It's not your jam. Like, who are you in this equation?
I'm like you, Janet. I never started off needing a calendar. Everything was up here. And I was pretty good at organizing everything in my head until I got to a point where I got too busy and I started
Yes.
dropping appointments and I started dropping the ball. And I would say, when did that really happen? It's when Jordan was born, my
Yes.
firstborn. So this was like 13 years ago. I was like, I'm so busy, like with everything now. And so I'm old school. I have oh my gosh, paper pen. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I use. I use my calendar, my phone, but I'm a paper pen guy.
Right. You paper pen for writing down appointments, or paper pen for remembering to do things?
Both. So my schedule, I have a calendar, like a paper calendar every month, and I just, with my pen. And I'm old school that way, but I need to see it up. That's why. It
Yes.
always has to be visual, like in my office.
Yes. So
Yeah.
you bring up a really good point that things pivoted for you when your daughter was born.
Yeah.
And it's true, because we're not only running a business, but we have families, and we also have commitments to ourselves in terms of, I always say the four most important affirmations you want to have is, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am happy, I am growing. Right?
Oh, I
Because
like that.
I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am happy, and I am growing. And so you need to have time in your calendar for all of those things.
Yeah.
All of those things. Okay.
Love
So
it.
let's get into some of the rules. And this always gives people peace of mind, is when you build a time block schedule, you're not building a time block schedule for forever and forever. What you want to do, and this is what I do as part of the quarterly planning process, is, yes, I set my goals for the next 90 days, but it's also an opportunity to go through the calendar and look
Yes.
at, does it still make sense that that's when my morning routine is? Does it still make sense that that's when I want to be in the office, when I want to be out of the office? What is bedtime? And the reason you want to do an audit of that every 90 days is a couple of things. I mean, perfect example, kids. I bet during the school year, your schedule is slightly different than when it's summer months, or it's different when it's volleyball season or not volleyball season, right? Your requirements as a dad are
Yeah.
different. So that's why I always say, do an audit every 90 days. So if you haven't done a time block schedule yet, I'll set you up with the rules today, start building it, but then also put in your calendar that last week of June, because that's when we're ending the second quarter, to do an audit of the whole thing.
I love that you brought that up. So it's equally as important as actually building out the 90-day time block. I would say equally as important is reflecting on it at the end of 90 days. And it's
Mhm.
how I set my day up. So obviously, I have my to-do list first thing in the morning, but what I find to be equally as powerful is spending the last 5-10 minutes of my night reflecting on the day, which I find a lot of people don't
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I love that. I love
So
that.
do you have anything you do to reflect on the day, or you just think about it, or what do you do?
It's rule of three. So I won't do anything more than three really big ticket items every single day. And the
Right.
reflection piece is, did I accomplish the three big ticket items? What was the one key takeaway, and what would be the pivot? What would I do differently? And that's it. It's 5-10 minutes, right? But it's
I love that.
really helped for me to stay focused.
So say that again. The
Yeah.
questions you have.
So the three big tasks that I need to tackle for the day, and
Yeah.
then when I reflect on it, number one is, did I actually get it done? Number
Yes.
two is, what were the challenges? And then the third one is, what would be the pivot for the next time?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I do something really similar. I do keep, stop, start.
Oh,
So
I remember this. Yeah, I love this that you do. Yes.
right. So I just say, what made today great? What did I do that was, it made it an amazing day, and I need to keep doing that. And that could be something of how you approached a meeting,
Mm,
a business meeting, but maybe it was, you know what? I got up half an hour earlier, and that was great because I didn't feel rushed getting to I was going to say to school, to work, right? So what do I need to keep doing? Then what do I need to stop doing? What is, I don't know, so maybe I reacted poorly to something, or it was a bad habit, or whatever it is. Like, what did I stop doing? Sorry, what do I need to stop doing? Because it didn't help me get to my goals. I
yeah,
didn't feel good about things. It wasn't a good use of my time, energy, or money.
I
Right? What
love
do
it.
I need to stop doing? And then what do I need to start doing? And what do I need to start doing is either something that has been swirling around in your head that, oh my God, I gotta do that. I have to, oh no, I've got to do that. It might be that's what I need to start. Or it might be, if I need to stop doing X, then what do I need to start doing instead?
I
Right?
love that. I
So
love
keep,
that.
stop, start, and use it for your whole life. Like, it could be business, it could be health habits, it could be eating habits, it could be sleep habits,
Mhm.
anything, right? So keep, stop, start. I love your formula too, and I love that we both have just, it's three, that it's simple.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so let's get back to the rules. So you're going to audit it every 90 days. And what you're going to do, the very, very, very first thing that you're going to do is, you're going to, let's imagine we're at the end of June. I'm going to look at July, August, and September, and I'm going to say, when am I not working? When am I not working because I have vacation planned, or it's a day off, or maybe I'll be at Tom Ferry Summit, like whatever it is when are you not working,
Mhm.
personally or professional? Because you never want to open up your calendar and go, oh, I double booked myself. Or I said I'd do an open house, and what was I thinking? Because I forgot that I was going away that weekend with friends. So get your personal commitments in there first. And it's not only weekends away and time off, but maybe it's, you know what, it's the summer. I want to go play golf every Wednesday, every Wednesday evening. Right. So get the personal commitments in there first, and find out from your family, hey, especially kids, like, okay, what do you guys have going on? Like,
Yeah.
how much do you know about your schedule in terms of what the demands are going to be?
Yeah.
Okay. So, so,
Agreed. Love that.
so, so get the personal commitments in there first. And then what you want to do is, you want to think about, when is when is it going to be lights out? When do I want to shut it down for the night? What's my bedtime routine? And then when do I want to get up in the morning?
Mm. And I find a lot of agents struggle with that because it's like they're always on,
Mhm.
right? And I hear from their partners who aren't in real estate to be like, they're always on. So it is imperative that you have a stop time every day, unless it's an emergency, right? How do agents stick to that? Because so many of the agents I speak to are like, but I always have to be on for my clients. I'm worried that if I don't respond to a text or pick up their phone, like they're going to go somewhere else. Like, how do you help your crew of agents
Yeah.
navigate through that belief?
It's interesting you bring that up. I experienced that as a seller. Like, before I got my real estate license, we were selling a house in Vancouver, and the agent, like really, really good agent, sat down with us, and he said, okay, here's how we're going to get this property sold. Here's how we're going to work together. And one of the things he said to me was, okay, my kids are young. My kids are 3 and 5. Having dinner with them every evening and bedtime is
Mm,
very, very important to me. I do not answer I do not look at my phone between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the evening. Then after that, what I do is I check and see if there's anything urgent. And then I always make a commitment of getting back to you before 10 a.m. the next day. Now,
Love
let me
it.
tell you, if we are in the middle of an offer negotiation, that goes out the window. I'm on it. We will stay up however late we need until the deal is done. Does that work for you? I'm like, okay, because he set the expectations. And it was interesting because we were selling and we were buying. And so after dinner, I'd be like on my phone, I'd be looking up on MLS and different properties, and I'd be like, hey, could we go see this? And then I'd be like, I don't even really need to see that one anyway. Or I would really wanted to see, I would think, okay, I know he's not going to get back to me till 10 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's setting the expectations up front of when you're available and what you're not available. And then for those of you that have teams and have assistants, it's also building that in to say, hey, if you ever, don't get me, know that my assistant or my team is around and they can definitely answer the questions. Just it's managing expectations.
I'm going to add one element to that as well. So
Yeah.
your listing agent, when you're selling your property in Vancouver, set the expectation from the very beginning of the relationship. You only get
Yes.
to do that if you then supplement, quote unquote, the time off, whatever it is, dedicated to whomever. You only get to do that if you've put in the work. I
Mm-hmm.
find a lot of agents that struggle with that stop time every day. They struggle because they haven't done the daily activities that they need to
Right.
do to build a predictable level of business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you can't just say, this is my stop time and it is what it is. It doesn't work as simply as that. It only works if you're doing the daily activities and have some level of predictability of income coming in, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked about doing it quarterly audit. We've talked
Yeah.
about personal time and then your evening time and then when your morning routine is going to be. But
You're
then,
such a coach. You're such a coach. Okay, so let's recap. At this point, 10 minutes in, we talked about this, and this. That's why I love you. You're so good, Janet.
but here's a confession. I also do it to remind myself of what we've talked about already.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, so now it's time to think about, okay, what are my office hours are going to be? Think about a doctor's office, a dentist's office, an accountant's office, a lawyer's office. They have very defined hours. Do the same thing. Yes, I know we have offers to deal with, and that throws something different in there. But as a standard rule, what are your office hours going to be? Because this is where I think agents get caught up too, is they think, oh, well, I don't have any showings to do, or I don't have any contracts to write. I don't really have anything going on this morning. I don't know. Maybe I'll just sleep in, or maybe I'll just go to the gym. But if you have this mindset of there's 5 items I have to do every single day, you're running it as a business, and the deals will come and the leads will come. Okay, so you get into the office at the same time every day. Once you're in, and when I say office, it could be your home office, or it could be your office at your brokerage or whatever it is, but you're sitting at your desk the same time every single day. Okay. And the very first thing you do, you're going to take 15 minutes. And in those 15 minutes, you're going to track yesterday's performance, meaning you're going to ask yourself, did anybody say they're thinking of selling? Who was it? Get it in your CRM. Did anybody say they're thinking of buying? Who is it? Get it in your CRM. And then anybody I already have in my pipeline, in my lead flow, did anything change there, right? Did I set an appointment? Did I get the document signed? Did I activate the listing? Did something go under contract? Is something now pending? Is something closed? Did I get a review? Like, did anything change with the stage of that contact? Mm-hmm. Because here's where agents can miss the opportunity. So let's say I'm your past client and I run into you this morning at Starbucks. And you're like, Janet, how are you? I'm like, Stephen, oh my gosh, it's so funny that I run into you. We were just talking about you. I don't know. We love this. You know how much we love this house, but we're thinking one more summer here. And then I think we're done. We're going to just get a little condo in the center of the city, and then maybe get a place down south or something, or maybe like a cabin or something like that. But yeah. And you say, yeah, well, great. Yeah. I'd love to help you. Yeah. Let's be in touch, at the end of the summer, and we'll chat. And we walk away and we both go, oh, wow, it was great to see each other. too many agents just kind of nod their heads and say, wow, it was great to see her. And then that's all you do. Because you forget about the conversation. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but you forget about the conversation, and then you get in your car and you go off and you do the next thing. So that's why I always say spend the first 15 minutes of the day reflecting on what happened yesterday so you're not missing anything.
Love it. Love it.
Right. And so because so many times when I'm speaking with agents or team leaders, they say, oh my gosh, my CRM is a mess. My database is a mess. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know, I opened up my phone or opened my CRM and I have this guy, Steven, food lover. I'm like, who's that guy? Like, who is that guy? Right. But if you spend the 15 minutes every day, it's just like, you know, if you just put the laundry away every time,
Yep.
you know, like just, you don't get these piles of laundry.
And that's why I always like that reflective piece at the end of every night is so important to me. So we've heard the saying, you know, to win the day, you need to win the morning. I've actually tweaked a little bit. I say to win the next day, you have to win the evening before, which is really focusing on just that reflective piece, which is what you talk about. That first 15 minutes, life is busy. Just get in front at your office, same time, and just reflect on the things that happened previously. I love that. It's such an important hack.
Right? Slow down to speed up.
Love it.
I have a lot of the team leaders that I coach, they don't want to slow down. And attention to details and putting information in the CRM is really tedious to them. They don't want to do it. So what we've built in is just get on Zoom or get on the phone with your assistant, because if you're running 100 miles an hour, you better have a really good ops person or really good assistant supporting you, someone who is really good at attention to details, and spend the 15 minutes and just have them ask you, hey, Stephen, did you talk to anybody yesterday that was thinking of selling? Yeah, I ran into Janet. Who's Janet? Janet Miller. Oh, is that 123 Main Street? Yes. Okay, what do I need to know about her? Right? And then all the information is in your CRM. So that's a hack. If you're not the type of person that wants to sit down and do that, you have to have someone on your team that's going to help you. So it's in your CRM. So in your CRM, you always want to have name, address, phone number, email.
Okay.
Right? Name, address, phone number, email. You want to have their DNA, right? Desire, need, and ability to move. Right? Desire, need, and ability to move. So if you and I ran into each other, you would want to make a note in the CRM that says, you know, wants one more summer in the house at 123 Main Street, then wants to downsize, get a condo, possible cabin, or be a snowbird. Okay, so D, what's the desire? What's the biggest reason for them wanting to sell? So that's D, desire. N, need, what do they need to sell? Or if it's a buyer, what do they need to buy? Okay, and then A, what's their ability to move? Can they do it? Like, if I brought her a buyer right now, would she do it right now? Or is there something else that needs to happen? No, she wants to have one more summer in the house, or the paperwork for the job transfer has to be finalized, or the youngest needs to decide where he's going to college, and that will determine if they're moving or not. But in your CRM, write down their DNA, right? Their desire, need, and ability to move.
I would apply this to every single lead as I'm writing it in the chat's DNA. This applies to every person, not just people like past clients and people in the database your sphere. This applies to every single possible lead. I love that. I love that.
Especially if you're working on a team, or if you have someone helping you with your business, or you're on vacation. Because imagine if I call you in August before you have a chance to call me, you're on vacation, and one of your team members, how amazing will it be if they can open up the CRM and see, oh yeah, I see the notes from Stephen. Oh yeah, you guys ran into each other at Starbucks in May. DNA, like, have it in there. And then the other thing you want to put in your CRM is WHN, which is what happens next. Because you want to make your CRM work for you. Because too many times you write the notes of, okay, who's Janet? You know, what's her deal? But you want to have a task that reminds you to call me in early August to say, hey, how's your summer going? the last time we ran into each other, you mentioned that you might possibly want to sell. Are you still thinking that way? Right?
I
So
think, yeah, I think everything you just shared in this small little snippet with regards to this CRM could be like that could be an entirely like separate coaching
mhm.
YouTube live session. Like,
Okay.
but so many agents don't, like coach, they don't know what to fill in their CRM. They don't.
Yeah.
So they know name, number, phone number, email. Like they know that, but they don't know where to go from that. So the
Yeah.
DNA, the WHN, just those two would do such wondrous things for people's
Yeah.
CRMs.
And then I would add two other things, really simple things, is the source. Like, what's the
Mhm.
source of that lead? Is it a past client? Is it from an open house?
Yep.
Is it from, they saw you, they read your reviews? What is it? So the source, and then what stage? Are they just thinking of selling? Have you set the appointment? Okay. So that's the first 15 minutes of your day. You're just reflecting on who you talked to yesterday. Now, if you're really, really, really good and organized, you're going to be using the app from your CRM, and a lot of that's going to be captured, but I would still do that reflection piece. Okay.
Okay.
Number
Yep.
two, you're going to spend 15 minutes studying the market. Studying the market. And one of my favorite things to do when I coach teams is we get on the coaching call, like all the agents join, and whoever joins first, I say, okay, you have the option. You can either give me the market update or you can assign it to one of your friends. Because that's the role play we always start with, because I want them to be so good at answering the question, how's the market? Because don't you find that that's what everybody asks you?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And most agents don't know how to navigate that because they don't know how to qualify,
Yeah.
right? The intent behind that question. Yep.
Yeah. And it's really easy. Like, Toronto's huge, Vancouver is huge. You don't have to know everything for every area. Think about the area where you want to be known as the expert and go all in and study that. Right.
But coach, there's so much to know. Like, what should I focus in on? Like all these market tables and whatever. Like, again, how do you respond to that? Like, how
Yeah,
do you coach your teams and agents on that?
it's really easy. So the back end of the Vancouver system is Paragon. What's the back end of the Toronto system?
It's realm and
Yeah. Okay.
protest. Yeah.
Okay. So you can create predefined searches. You can create saved searches. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So all I used to do is I would look at the area where I wanted to be known as the expert, and I would create a saved search for active and a saved search for sold in the last 30. And I would do one for detached, one for townhouses, and one for condos. And then all I would do every morning is I would log on and I would click on the detached active for the west side of Vancouver. And I would see how many listings there are. And I would just write it down. And then
Yeah.
I would see how many have sold in the last 30 days. And I would write it down. And then I would sort it by most recent date. And I would look at, okay, what just was active? Yes. What went on in the
Smart.
market yesterday? And there's
Yep.
not a lot that goes on in one day. And I would just click through it and I would just read it to myself. 33 by 122 square foot lot, 2,400 square foot house sold or built in this many bedrooms, this many bathrooms, lit at this. And then I would go through the solds as well. It's not going to take you more than 10 minutes. It's not going to take you more than 10 minutes. And then the other thing I would do is, just for fun, I would look at what's the median price, and then what was the lowest sale price, and what was the highest sale price.
Smart.
And I just do that because it's like gossip, right? People want to know. I mean, like, well, because I did Jared and Tom and I did a virtual event yesterday for Vancouver. And so I actually looked it up and I was like, oh, okay, the median price right now the median sold price right now is 2.9, but there was one that sold for 1.7. And then there was one that sold for 8 million. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the heck sold for 8 million? I just looked that one up. Oh, it was a 7,000 square foot house in Shaughnessy on this massive lot, and it was built in this year.
Yeah.
So if someone says to me, how is the market? I know how many sales there have been, and then I have a story of this outrageous price, and that's it. So
And that's so simple, right?
it's so simple. And to your point though, it's so overwhelming when you log on.
Yeah.
So I would just look at the search, save searches, and I would look at how many active listings are there as of today? How many sales have there been in the last 30 days? What's the days on market right now? What's the median sold price? And then what's the months of inventory?
Okay.
And then I would just look at what's just come on the market, which just sold, and then I would just go through it. Just enough that I would have some good stories.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all you want to that's all you want to do.
Yep.
That's all
Yep.
you want to do. You want to go, oh, do you want to know something crazy? And just have something about some outrageous place.
And maybe just do that for the next 90 days, right? Just those like 4 to 5 key stats. And trust me, by the end of 30 days, you're going to get really, really good at being able to predict certain trends and patterns. And then after 90 days, maybe you want to add another stat, but you got to start somewhere, right? And
It's
so,
so when we logged on, the very first thing that you talked about was the weather. You said it was 3 degrees this morning. And you know that that's cold for this time of year because you look at the temperature every morning.
yep,
It's the same thing. You start to log on and you see there's 657 active listings.
exactly.
You know whether that's average, that's high, that's low, right?
Love it.
You just start to take it in,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Right.
So we've tracked yesterday's performance, we've studied the market, and then the next thing you want to do is you're going to spend the next hour, I call it stirring the pot. You're generating appointments.
Okay.
And so you're either sending DMs, texts, videos, phone calls, emails, anything where you're going back and like all those great notes that you made in the CRM, all your tasks are popping up of who to talk to, who to follow up with. And that's what you need to do.
So, the first 15 minutes reflect, the second 15 minutes learn, study the market,
Mhm.
the next hour stirring the pot or hours of power in the
Yes.
Tom Ferry ecosystem. And I love that. Okay.
Okay. And then the end of the morning is when I would do your admin work. Right? That's when I
Okay.
would do any paperwork that you have to get caught up on. And if you have an assistant, that's the perfect time of day to do a huddle with your assistant.
Okay.
And also if you
Good.
have a team, actually end of morning is really good because then you don't disrupt. Like think about how much you've already got done
Yeah.
by the time you have that huddle.
So
And
we're talking, yeah, when I kind of take a look at everything, we're talking about a kind of maybe about a 2-hour time block every morning from the moment I get into the office.
Yep, 2 to 3, yep.
Okay. Okay. I love that.
And
Okay.
if you notice, it's all things for me. Like it's getting me organized. It's creating the momentum. I always say you want to break your day to mornings are for myself, afternoons are for others. Right? Mornings I'm in the office, afternoons I'm out of the office.
Okay.
And so
I
that's the
agree with that.
morning.
Yes.
And then the afternoons are when you're doing your consultations, your showings, your coffee meetings, whatever you need to do. And then that's also when you're going to grab some content, grab some photos, B-roll, videos, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
If you do that, if you commit to that, you are going to be in so much momentum in your business.
Yeah. And momentum begets more momentum, right?
Yeah.
It's just a lot of people have a tough time just getting started. So breaking this down into bite-sized, manageable tasks is going to do wonders for everyone listening, watching in the next 90 days. But you got to commit, got to commit.
Right. So that's I call it the 5 to thrive, right? So those are the 5 things you need to do every day. Now, let's talk about the spring market because it's pretty busy right now.
Yeah.
It's definitely busy. And so to do that 5 days a week and be running around on the weekends hosting open houses and taking out buyers doesn't work. And so a lot of my coaching clients have made an adjustment, especially right now for the spring market. And so this is what they're doing. They're committing to 3 days. We're calling them hit days, right? Like just high intensity days that they're following this formula. Okay. Because they said,
Okay.
if I do that for 3 days, and right now I'm doing a lot of work on the weekends, open houses, listing appointments, showings, all those things. Okay. So we have 2 more days left in the week. So what they're doing for one of the days, they're making it an office, a business maintenance day.
Okay.
because we always want to have time where we're working on the business. Maybe you want to build out your YouTube channel, or maybe you want to, I don't know, maybe it's some kind of strat. Maybe you want to redo your website. Maybe you're following Jason's AI marketing academy and you need to build out your specialization pages, or you need to get your blog. There's always projects that you need to do,
Yeah.
but you're so busy, like a little hamster on the wheel, spinning, spinning, spinning. It's impossible to figure out when you're going to get that done.
Yeah.
And so if you build in a business maintenance day that you say, you know what, I'm not doing client appointments. I'm not doing client appointments. I'm going to get things done on that day. And
Love
then
it.
the last day of the week, that's your personal maintenance day. So here's the trick is you pick those days, and then when you have car service, a dentist appointment, a doctor's appointment, haircut, whatever it is, you build those in on that day. And it's so simple. But if you decide that, oh my gosh, I need to take the car in for service. Hey, when do you have available? Monday? Oh, okay, I'll do Monday. No, 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 no. If Thursday is your personal maintenance day, you say, I'd like an appointment on Thursday.
I laugh because it's so funny. This is something that I have done for years and years and years. And you're the first person to actually like articulate it. My personal appointment days are always Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
So if I need my car serviced and it's not on a Wednesday, let's say this, previous, then that's fine. What's the next Wednesday you have available? I never
Yeah.
deviate off that Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right.
I
And
know
that's also
it
like,
makes
yeah. Go ahead.
it
Sorry.
makes a huge difference.
It does. It does.
Because I've been caught where I'll say, oh, okay, you have Tuesday or whatever. I'm like, sure, yeah, sure, I'll take it. It's not my personal day. And I'm like, you know what? It'll be fine. I'll drop the car off at 8. My first coaching call's not till 9:30. That gives me lots of time. And of course, that's the day when there's an accident or they're delayed at the car dealership. And now you're like running back to your desk in a sweat, and you're late for your coaching call. It's not worth it.
This reminds me, this was a couple of years ago, because if you don't remember or recall, Coach, whenever we grab a bite to eat, like you, me, and Sharif, it's always on a Wednesday. And I remember you saying
Yes.
like, Wednesday's not available. What about Thursday? I'm like, I can only do Wednesdays because
Yeah.
that's my personal day. It's so funny.
Makes sense. No, but it
Yeah.
works. And
It
my
does. It does.
my coaching clients who have put that into practice, especially right now in the spring market, they feel that it recharges their batteries and it energizes them and it doesn't stress them out.
Love it.
So having that personal day, and then also going back to the business maintenance day. I have a client who is redoing her website, and she's like, oh, it's just like, yeah, no, they keep asking me for an answer. And I wanted to do it today, but I was so busy. Oh, no, I'll do it. Oh, no, I got so busy. And so if you have that personal or the business maintenance day, it's easy to help manage the expectations with others.
Yeah.
Hey, Tuesdays, I'm always at my desk catching up on all these projects. So Steve, I can get back to you next Tuesday. Does that work for your timeline? Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that works.
And I think it's easier to stay in momentum when you've clearly defined one afternoon, one day per week where you're working on the business versus doing these small, like 30, 45-minute increments every single day, because it takes time to get into momentum. And then once you're there, then you're going to move on to another task. So I love that concept of like a personal day and a business day. I love that. I think it's such a great hack.
And then for like on the weekends, what I have a lot of people do is they say, you know what? The reality of real estate is, especially right now, I need to be working on the weekends. But you know what? I'm not going to start until 1:00 because I want to have time with the family. And it also makes it easier managing and communicating with the family so they know, hey, 1 till 6, I'm working. But if we want to do something, let's do it in the morning.
Yep.
Right? Let's do it in the morning, because if you don't, otherwise you'll say to your family, oh yeah, by the way, I have a listing appointment 10 a.m. Saturday morning. Oh, well, I thought we were going out for brunch. Oh, sorry, I didn't know. So if you start to have these that's all it is. It's patterns, right? It helps manage expectations. Now, this all sounds so easy, but the reality is, hi, I'm an out of town buyer. The only day I'm in town is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you can't,
Yep.
sometimes there's things beyond your control. Deal with it like a bank account. So if you're withdrawing, if you have to absolutely have to do something on the day, like draw it out of the bank account on Wednesday, and then, okay, where are we putting that back in? Right? Where are we putting that back in? I find that happens like if I'm at an event. So my schedule is Monday to Thursday, I do coaching calls all day. Friday, I rarely do coaching calls. The only time I'll do a coaching call is if I'm at an event Monday or Tuesday and I have to, like, all those people on Tuesday, I can't fit them in another day. I'm like, you know what? I've got to be coaching on Friday. Right.
Yep.
So if I'm taking something out of my schedule on one day, I have to figure out how I'm going to put it back in.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay?
I love that. Treat it like a bank account.
Yeah. So then the other hack I find that really helps is on Sundays, I plan my week, right? I sit down for 30 minutes. And what I say to my coaching clients, Sunday's a great day, but I also recognize that Sunday could be a family day, or for some people, Sunday's a full on work day. So you don't have to do it Sunday, but do it first thing Monday morning, right? Give yourself 30 minutes. And what you want to do is you want to remind yourself, hey, what were my goals for 2026? What did I say was going to be true, where I could say, yes, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am happy, I am growing, right? Reflect on those goals. Reflect on, hey, where did I say I wanted to be on at the end of the quarter? Am I on track? Am I off track? And then I do something similar to you to say, okay, what do I want to get done by the end of the week? Like, what are the three? So as much as I keep everything, I keep all my events in my Google Calendar, I keep all my tasks in Asana, but I still have a journal to get all those things that are swirling around in my head. And one of the things that I do, and I got this from Sharon, is he said, you write an end of week report. And so what I'll do this Sunday, what's the date going to be this Sunday? I don't know what it's going to be. The 24th, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's just assume I'm right. This is 24th. So I will, on the 24th, I'll sit down and I'll open up my journal to the 31st, which is the week later. And all I write at the top is EOWR, right? End of week report, week ending May 31st.
Love it.
And I'll write down three things, and I write them in the past tense, right? I completed this. I booked this. I finalized this. It's a brain hack, right? You write it as if it's already happened. And then I look at that every day. And sometimes it's as simple as I booked my flights for Summit, or I booked the dentist. Like, sometimes it's the simplest thing that we keep saying, oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this.
Love it.
Right?
So good. So good. End of week report.
It's an end of week report. Now, the other thing I do, and I started doing this because it helped reduce the chaos, is I look at my calendar, not just for the upcoming week, but I look at my calendar for the upcoming week and the following week. And I look to see, is there anything happening that's going to require me to switch some things around? Because I used to do it on Sunday and only look the week ahead. And then I would look and I'd say, oh my gosh, I'm at that event all day Tuesday. Oh my gosh, I have to remove all my coaching clients on Tuesday. And so I'd have to get at my desk on Monday and then talk to my assistant and go, hey, tomorrow I can't meet with any of my coaching clients. Too much chaos.
Yeah.
Too much chaos. So now I look 2 weeks ahead. So it gives me that week buffer to change things.
That's why I have a printout of my calendar. So I actually sit the last weekend of the month to plan
Yes.
out the upcoming month. So I love
Smart.
your 2 weeks, but I already know, like, if you're busy and we're all busy, we already know what's really happening in the next 30, 60 days in all of our calendars. So, like,
Yeah.
get it on paper, have it up visual so that you have much more organization and discipline as tasks come up, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
it
that.
it it really really helps. So that's what I do for the end of the week report. Now, one of the things that we didn't talk about, and I find this really helps, is color coding your calendar.
Ooh,
Okay, so I color code it. There's a couple of things I do. So anything that's for me, anything that's for me is in blue, right? Because I think blue, health, happiness, right? So workouts, anything that I'm doing for me
yep.
is in morning routine, evening routine. Anything I'm doing with family and friends, I put in pink.
Mm,
And then anything where I'm working in the business, so that's just like the day to day tasks, as in light green. Green is money, right? And then anything where I'm working on the business, my CEO time when I'm working on projects, all those types of things, those are in dark green,
okay.
right? So that I can look and I can easily see what, like, whether it's a working in the business, working on the business, personal. And what I do on, even if I don't have an appointment booked, I block the time off with the colors,
Love it. So smart.
right? Because then if someone says, um, and then if I have availability, like, so for example, Monday to Thursdays I do coaching calls, and if I have a time that's dedicated for a coaching call but I don't have a client in there, I have that color coded gray just because it's flexible right now. So if I have a client that says, hey, I know we're scheduled, well, Monday's Memorial Day, hey, I'm in the US, it's Memorial Day, I'm not working, what other times do you have next week instead of Monday? I can just screen share my calendar with them and say anything that's in gray is available for you. And we just look at it and they go, I'll take Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Perfect. Let's do it.
I love the color coding concept. It's so simple. We all learn to do this in like kindergarten, right?
Yes.
To color code. But as we get older, we look at it as like, oh, I just don't have time for it. And so I'm going to take this one step further because I color code as well. And so your money making activities, working in the business, you color code it light green, and the working on the business dark green. Those are
Yes.
the things that make you money. And I
Mhm.
would say do this for the next 30 days. And if as you're color coding your calendar, and if you don't see more than 50% of your calendar color coded with light and dark green, you're probably not going to hit your income goal.
Right.
If a majority of it is spent time doing personal things, scrolling on Instagram, going to personal appointments, you're not going to hit your income goal. So I think that kind of goes hand in hand with people like, well, how do I go about doing this? What, like, I don't see the value in doing it. It's a simple visual activity.
Yes.
If your calendar is not 50% color coded in money making activities, you're never going to hit your income goal.
Right. And the other thing it's going to show you too, it's a red flag too. If you don't see
Yeah.
anything blue in your calendar,
Yeah.
you're not taking care of yourself.
Yep.
If you don't
Exactly.
see any pink in your calendar, you're probably pissing off your family and your friends.
Yeah.
You're probably not spending enough time with them. So you're right. It's a good visual indicator of what's going on. And yeah, and the other thing I do too is, this is personal preference, but for me, I do 30-minute coaching calls, 15-minute breaks, 30-minute. I stack my calendar that way. That's the way I like doing it. And so if I have someone that wants an appointment, they're like, hey, could we do 2:30? I say, I don't have 2:30. I could do 2, or I could do 2:45. Because what happens if I don't stick to that, then things get stacked on top of each other, and then I have big gaps, or someone says, hey, I need to move things around. It causes chaos. So that's
Yeah.
why I stick to that formula.
Lynn and Lorna mentioned Google Calendar has time insights. Yeah, fantastic. I don't know much about it, but I think that's fantastic if it can
It,
actually
yeah,
give you.
it can tell you what you're spending your time on.
Love that. Ooh, there's the audit piece, right? Oh,
Yeah. And there's
nice.
there's lots of tools, like I personally don't use Calendly, but I know lots of people use Calendly. Like
Yeah.
you can set it up with your availability. And so
Yep.
it's really good, especially if you on your website you have say, hey, book a time with us.
Yep.
Or I see often like on YouTube in the description of your videos, like
Yep.
interested in chatting more, click here to book a time with me. And then you
Love it.
just open it up and it's there. And so if you have those times in your calendar, okay.
Love it.
Um,
Super Coach, we have about 10 minutes left, if that's okay. So I
yeah,
know you go on for hours and hours, and I'd love to have you come back on. But just as a kind of a heads up, we have about 10 minutes.
yeah. Okay. So the other thing I was going to say about your calendar and planning your week, especially if you have kids, you have a family, is find out what they have going on.
Yes.
Like find out what they have, because I don't know if this is Steve, if this has ever happened to you. Hey Dad, I have a really big project I have to do on this, and I've done most of it online, but I have to make something and I need stuff from Staples. Yeah, when's it due? Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? Or
Never
oh,
happened.
or oh, we've got an extra volleyball practice, or oh, we have this game.
Yep.
Like have a family
All the time.
game. I need you to drive me here.
Yep.
Right?
I'm
So
the world's most overpaid Uber driver.
right? And so it's just you want to get rid of the chaos.
Yeah.
You want to get rid of the chaos. So that's an like a good overview of how to plan your day. There's so much more that we could talk about. But let's talk a little bit of maybe about some hacks and maybe morning routine or evening routine, or what
Love it.
questions do you have, or what do you want to ask?
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity for people to start adding in their questions. I know Hector and Jenny Rose talked about NAP consistency. Kristen from London, big shout out to you. My CRM is so confusing to deep dive using it at such basic level. This is great. Janet is amazing. Loving the mindset, Google Insights. Okay, so as you have questions, please just throw them in so Coach Janet can answer. This is a great opportunity to really be able to ask Coach Janet your questions because she is a very sought after coach. Very sought after coach. So to get her here now, amazing. After this, we're going to post up the video on YouTube. Ask questions there as well, and Coach Janet will answer in that stream as well. Okay, so what are some of the hacks?
The hacks. Well, the hacks is being okay to say no, because no doesn't mean no, like I'm not helping you, I'm not doing it. It really means not now. And my
Mm-hmm.
favorite story of this is when I was director of sales, and there I looked after 125 agents, and John was always one of the top performers, and he was almost always number one. And sometimes if he was number two, I'd say, oh my gosh, John, congratulations, you were number two this month. And he would say, that's never happening again. Right? He was so obsessed with winning. But not only was he a great agent, he was just a really good human being. Like he was a great husband, he was a great father. He always had time to work out. Like he had it all together. I'm like, how does this guy just be so good at what he does, but also be such a good human? And I found out one day because I walked into the bullpen. He was always in the office at 8. He was always on his headset making phone calls. He was really, really disciplined. And I walked up to him. It was probably about 9:30. And I saw that he had his headset on, and I saw he had his notebook open, and he was flipping through the pages. But I also could tell he wasn't on the phone. Like he just didn't look that busy. And so I said, hey, John, got a minute? And he said, absolutely. Come back at 10:45. And I was like, oh, that's how he does it. Because all too often, our natural reflex is, sure, what do you need? And now we're making someone else's chaos or emergency or priority. Like we have to take that on.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to put boundaries around that. So he was respecting his schedule. He was honoring his schedule.
It's not even that it's okay. It's a necessity to have those
Yeah.
guardrails and boundaries in your business.
Right. And I also know if I had said to him, John, it's about one of the offers you just submitted. We really need to deal with this. And he'd be like, no problem. Like he also knows that you have to pivot when necessary.
Yep.
But he starts with, not like come back at 10:45. And so
Great.
that's really important too. I know we can't 100% control when we meet with clients or when we have to meet inspectors or all these things, but always start with your preferred time, because 80-90% of the time you're going to be able to make it work. And so if you set the expectations, in advance, or simply ask, hey, I'm booked until 11:30. I can definitely meet you noon or later. Can you make that work?
Okay. Okay.
Just
What's another great hack that you've come across that you've coached
yeah.
on?
Um, it's just it's reflecting. It's doing that reflection piece is the big one.
Yep.
Like if you
I
get
would agree.
if you get to the end of the day and you're like, I don't know, what did I get anything done? This was
Mm,
chaotic. Like, ooh, do that keep stop start. Don't
yeah.
spend your energy in getting mad at yourself that the day was chaos. Just remind yourself, what do I need to keep doing? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to start doing?
With all of your coaching clients, with all of the experience that you have, what do you find is the number one mistake that most agents make consistently when it comes time to not being able to time manage? Whether it's a limiting belief, they're stuck, but what's the one thing consistently you see most agents make? And then on the flip side, what's the one change when it comes to time management you've seen the greatest return on investment
Yeah, yeah, no,
amongst your coaching clients?
that's a really good question, and it's the word that popped into my head is boundaries. I
Ah,
we get, I think we all get guilty and we all get caught up in this. I'm available 24/7. If you ever need me, just you've got my text, you've got my phone number. I'm always available. But that's not how you run a business.
yep.
You have to have boundaries, right? That's not how you run a business. That's not how you commit to your family and your friends. That's not how you grow as a person and stay healthy and happy. So you have to have the boundaries. And it's like I used that example of the listing agent that I worked with in
Yeah.
Vancouver. He was very clear on what his boundaries were.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest pivot, is just being true to the like what you put in the and just following it and
Yeah.
looking.
So that almost answers both. Like the biggest mistake is not having boundaries. What's the biggest like pivot that's had the greatest return is
Yeah,
having boundaries, right?
yeah.
Which is
And then the other one that's tied into that, and you mentioned this a little bit at the beginning, is like keeping everything in your head.
yeah.
Keeping everything. Save your brain power for negotiating contracts, analyzing numbers, processing emotions, building relationships. Like save your brain power for that. Anything that could be documented, just put it in your calendar, put it in your task manager. Because I don't know about you, but I used to like, oh, I got to remember to do that. Oh, I have to do that. I have to do that. No, just put it in your calendar. Your calendar will tell you what to do and when you need to do it.
I love what you just said there. Save your brain power for the things that matter. Not saying that the things like calendars, like items in your calendar don't matter, but there's so much that we deal with. I think like I was listening to a podcast. The average human goes over it's something like 10,000 thoughts per day. We have
Mm-hmm.
10,000 thoughts per day, which is crazy, right? And so get whatever you can on a calendar, scheduled, get it done ASAP. Jenny asks a question. Jenny, Toronto, Calgary Realtor asks a question. Have you ever burnt out? I think this is the big one though. And I'd
Yeah.
love to hear what your answer is. What are the signals you look for or you look out for before burning out? What are the things that you've noticed, you've seen on the
Yeah.
agent that just are about to burn out or do burn out? Are there any warning signs?
Yeah, definitely. There's a whole mixture. It's a um you're angry, you're grumpy, you don't want to do it
Uh,
anymore. You're physically exhausted. I mean, that's what burnout is. You're making mistakes,
mm,
right? You're just not sharp when it comes to making decisions. You
oof,
just it's just everything is overwhelming.
yeah, I love
Right?
that. I love that. Okay.
Yeah, you got to take time for yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Coach Janet, I want to say thank you so much. This has been an hour. This has been amazing. Such a great masterclass. I'm absolutely going to ask for you graciously to share your time again to come back because There's so much more to unpack. You are such a wealth, a fountain of knowledge. For those listening and for those that are going to be watching and listening after the fact, Coach Janet is speaking Tuesday, May 26th with Tom Ferry. Do you want to just share the details of the event?
Yeah, it's on, if you go onto tomferry.com and you go under events, it says The Edge.
Yep.
And it's a 1-day event. Yeah, Tom's speaking, I'm speaking, and Jared Davis is speaking. And it's the three of us. It's all focused on being a great listing agent, right? What you need to do, how you need to do it, how you need to get the price reductions, everything you need to do to find more people that say we're thinking of selling, get them all the way to that sold sticker and get the repeat and the referral business.
And where do people need to go to creep on you, to get more information, to follow you? Where should everyone be going?
I love to be on Instagram, janetmiller.coach. And if you were on today's session, I would love for you to send me a DM. Let me know if something that we talked about was helpful for you, or if you have a further question, shoot me a DM, because I love solving problems.
That's what I love about you, Coach, is you're so willingly wanting to help people answer questions after the fact, which is amazing. Coach, I'm so grateful for you, super indebted to you. I wish you all of the continued success that's happening and about to happen to you in the coming years. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Everyone knows the drill here. Be great, be kind, and let's make some big moves when it comes to time management this week. Appreciate you. Thanks, Coach.
Okay. See you soon. Bye.